Of easy. How long have you driven a truck?
I've been driving for 10 years.
10 years now. Okay. And you didn't bring your husband along. Travis was
No, I'd rather take the money than his plane ticket.
Oh, how would you feel if you come for a vacation?
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd bring him for that.
Okay.
I gather that actually the conditions in our Lapland could be quite similar to your Alaska roads.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Finland before?
No, never been to Finland before. I was in Sweden when there was snow on the ground last year.
All right, but they also have the similar like icy roads.
It's hard to say on the roads because I didn't really drive the roads, but I mean like the weather conditions and the animals and the plants and all that were like almost the same as Alaska. The trucks are different. I haven't really driven that much, but our roads are, I don't know, your roads are in Europe, so they're all intertwined, and we have like one road from the bottom to the top. So it's just like one road and it's very desolate.
Yeah, we watched you.
Now you have driven also here in Finland, and so or in Europe, so what's the biggest difference between vehicles in the States and...
The obvious are the big difference. I have a big hood on the front of my truck and you guys don't have anything.
Yeah. And you prefer the...
Well, I'm just used to the hood, so I'm sure I get used to anything.
So you've driven in India and South America and in really like hard conditions, different conditions. And you said in one interview that you cannot, for instance, adopt anything that you've learned in India to what you do in Alaska.
I mean, you go over there with this mindset, I'm going to show these people how to drive. But it's so different that you have to drive the way they drive in their country. If they came over to our country, it'd be a disaster. Unless they tried to drive like we did. It is totally different. I mean, you can bring over your skills the best that you can, but you got to fit in.
And then you spend like 12 hours without a phone connection when you drive your route. So do you ever feel insecure or, I mean, unsafe? We always feel safe, like there is like no harm, no crime or anything bad that could come to you.
There is. I mean, you take the safety precautions. I mean, like anything, we're not just out there without anything. But I mean, there is a phone, and I'm not super attached to my phone anyway. Try to break through technology, but I mean, there's other truck drivers. I know all the truck drivers out there. It doesn't matter how they feel about you, if they like you or not. You're stuck with help you. But as soon as you break down, there's no truck driver for an hour. Then you start to worry.
Could you say that there's like a global brotherhood of truck drivers or sister drivers? It's kind of a global phenomenon that one helps the other.
I mean, it's different everywhere in the world. So in Alaska, for sure, it's more like a family. And I've driven in the States before, and they are not very nice. So, I mean, but we're all truck drivers in the end, and have that in common. But it's just different from place to place when you go. In Alaska, it's very nice.
Why do you think it is like that? You say that in States they are not like that, and in Alaska you are kind of a big family. Why is it like that?
I think the difference would be that we don't have home service, and we could die out there, and that means something. You don't need someone to die. But in the States, they don't really care because you got a phone, call your company, get towed to the next place, so they can get away with that. It comes down to, on the wire, the price of being put together. And that's what's important. Find out what's important.
I have one more serious question.
Then they're all funny after that.
Because we are energy efficiency is very important for at least the European truck companies. Because basically, when you can save in fuel, you of course save in money. And then of course EU is looking forward to all kinds of savings in energy consumption and what have you. So what about driving in Alaska or in the USA in general? Do you have to consider, for instance, fuel consumption or other energy efficiency levels on a regular basis? Is it somehow part of your driving process?
Definitely not as much as it is in Europe. It's a huge deal here. We're more and more starting to think that way, and our companies have been putting like a auxiliary generator to keep the cab warm, so you don't have to run the truck 24 hours a day. Mine doesn't have that, so I run it for a month at a time. that you never turn the truck off, and when you do, you might not start again, then you're going to freeze and die. So that's kind of more important, but but yeah, we're starting to more and more think like that. Like you're starting to give out like little bonuses if we shut our trucks off, you know, don't let them idle for like 5 minutes. But it's not regulating the rule, but we're just trying to be conscientious of it.
That was the serious question. So what about your leisure time? What are you doing when you're not sitting in your truck?
Oh, I'm at home. Just being a normal person. I got horses and dirt bikes. So.
Do you still got that miniature
Yeah.
one?
Boy, he's mean.
What is it like? It's like a
Yeah, it's a miniature. Yeah,
it's a miniature.
Yeah.
It is cute. Is it he or she? It's a he. Yeah. What is his name?
Rocky.
Rocky.
Okay. What happened to that dog breed
Yeah,
you had in
India,
India?
right? My producer took it home, so it lives in California with him.
Okay.
So it's in the States and fat and happy.
Okay.
And then I took one home from Peru. It didn't make the show, but I had one in Peru too.
Okay.
I keep collecting them.
You must have a big house for the miniature horses and dogs and everyone.
I got 2 acres of land. Most of it's pasture, and I just built a barn this year, so I've been really busy planting grass, putting up fence, and cleaning up lots of poop.
Do you have a message for girls or young women who might consider this profession?
Not so much the profession as much as just like you can do whatever you put your mind to, and it really is possible if you're willing to give the right sacrifices. And I mean, but that's for everybody, and not just this profession. This just happened to be where I landed at and I wanted to be at. But as far as the profession goes, I mean, you gotta. It's like I'm sure you've heard it before. It's a lifestyle, and it is. It's your whole life revolves around it. So if you're willing to live that kind of lifestyle, then it might be the job for you. But I mean, as far as like being healthy, it's not very helpful to be sitting in a truck for 15, 20 hours a day getting fat off truck stop food. So it's hard to raise a family when you're driving a truck. I mean, it's all possible, but you really got to consider it's important to you.
How do you actually, when you are driving 12 hours per day and it's gonna going on and on and on, how do you get exercise? Do you have any
Gaining lots of weight.
I was asking that. How do you do any exercise?
I try to. I mean, it's really hard in the cab. But
Yeah, I know.
But you have like on the bed. I do about one sit-up and then I'm like fall asleep. But yeah, you can. I mean, you can do stuff. Just get creative. So I go for walks. Like I have places along the road that I'll stop, jog around the block, and then get back in and keep driving. There is things you can do.
But you obviously like speed because your hobbies are motocross and dirt biking and skydiving. And
That's all really slow. Well, the skydive is kind of fast, but it's all really slow stuff. I mean, you're
Okay.
racing bikes, but you don't go over 3rd and 4th gear, at least.